The next angle of attack, so if you worked on angles 1 and 2, angles 3 and 4, then the next angle we'll just work on by itself singularly is angle 5. Angle 5 is a straight thrust, and it goes straight to the solar plexus, straight to the mid-range right here. 10 is also a thrust, but it goes up high. But just for right now purposes, let's work on angle 5. So the first few angles I did, I was working on them, and they are cutting motions, slicing motions, and when I do them quick with my hips, I hear the stick making noise through the air. This doesn't happen so much, so as I'm practicing at home, whenever I'm practicing my thrust, I like to put a noise on that. So the stick makes the noises when I'm doing the slicing motions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But on 5, since it's a simple stab or simple thrust into the middle, there's no real big noise the stick needs to make. So that's where I add my yell. Hi-ya! Right into the belly right there, right? So same thing, just like anything else you would do. With 1, 2, 3, and 4, I had my right hand in charge, my right foot in front. With the bow staff I had, when I was preparing for a thrust, I'd have to wind that stick back behind me in order to thrust it in. I'm not just starting right here going, hey, hey, poke, tag, you're it, right? I'm winding it behind me. So there's ways you can do this. If I wanted to do a mid thrust and I wanted to kind of make it a bladed thrust here, kind of a backhandish thrust, I could come on my belly side for the wind up to it. But for the majority of our practice here, as you're working on just a normal number 5 without any of the extra fancy stuff in it, I bring that stick back behind my backside as my wind up, because it's just like a punch, a lunge punch going forward. I want to pull that hip back here so it helps push my punch or my palm heel, whatever that attack is when I'm landing forward, so it pushes it forward. It's not a pulling motion right now, it's a pushing motion. So from here, I'll pull that hand back, pull that hip back, and then boom, throw that hip forward into my thrust. That's as simple as that can be. If you don't have a bob to work on, or you're working on a bob in any way, you want to practice visualizing and getting that other hand out of the way. Think about this. Some fencers, right? The sword fighter guys that'll fight like that, they'll have that other hand up, sometimes maybe even behind them as they go to thrust for stuff like this. I don't like leaving my hand exposed. I've got enough martial arts practice behind me, hopefully, as I'm learning this extra thing here, that I know how to have my balance rooted in that stance, so I don't need this as a counterweight. So I'm going to keep that hand out of the way. I like to bring that left hand to my right bicep as I'm doing that and practicing. That's where my stab is. That's where my thrust is, right there to the middle. So, and then I'll put them all together. Eventually, hopefully you're doing this too as you're working on through the videos. You're working on, okay, I got 1 and 2 down. Then I watched and I got 3 and 4. I'm getting comfortable with that. So let me put them all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And kind of smooth that out a little bit, speed it up, and then get my hips into it. Okay, then after that, I get through the number 4, 3, 4. My hand's back over here. That's perfect position to wind up for that 5. So if I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4 here on bob, it's easy for me. I've already pulled that hip back on number 4 to get through that motion. So it's easy enough because my hand's already back there on my back side to thrust forward. In practicing for quick, speedy, fluid techniques and getting through this all together, I like to add, even after 3 and 4, I like to add a forward twirl going into 5. Just something I like to do. It kind of works for me. So I'm working on a 1, 2, 3, 4 twirl, 5. The twirl sets up my pullback, my drawback, as I lunge forward, as I prepare to lunge forward for number 5. So that's move number 5 and all the extra little things that kind of come with it. Again, practice with your left hand and your right. Think about how you would do that. 3, 4, wind up, 5. Boom. How you might do that. Again, I don't like to do this. For some forms practice, we may lunge forward into a front stance, but I'm honestly just going to keep it, even if I'm lunging forward here, I'm going to keep a lot of this in a back stance, something that resembles a fighting stance, where I like to keep my targets turn sideways. I'm not looking to get truly old-fashioned here where I'm going way into that long lunging stance. I'm trying to keep it more realistic, I think, with a stick than I would if I had the bow, or I'm doing bow forms and all that stuff. So there's times where I might practice alternate moves, alternate stances with this, but for my practice going through these 12 basic angles of attack, I'm trying to keep it realistic and just basic. Everything pretty much from a back stance, so I can get my hips into it, boom, and just keep going. That's move number 5. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like more information for more videos that we produce, please check out ninjafit.com, and there's ways for you on that page to follow us, friend us, subscribe to us. We got Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn and YouTube tabs on there, all for you to find more information about NinjaFit, our program a little bit, and more videos off our YouTube page and Facebook pages that we'll post on instructional things, how to. Some of it's going to be for how to for instructors, for our leadership students, and some of it's going to be how to basic things for some of our future students. So please check us out and enjoy.